Yo, what's poppin', everybody? My name is Ray Rawlins. I just got finished watching Death Note episode 2, man. And listen, I gotta say, that shit was fire. That shit was fucking fire. Listen, shit is going down in Death Note where I'm at right now, episode 2. Just finished it. And I gotta tell you, Light is a smart motherfucker. But I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I don't know what's gonna go down. Light, man, L coming for you, bro. We gotta talk about it, man. We gotta fucking talk about it. So it's the episode starts off with Light being in class. You know, he's getting out of class. Ryuk, the Shinigami, who's in charge of him, I guess you could say, he's got a close eye on him, watching how he used the Death Note and shit. And Ryuk's like, man, I don't know how you humans do it, man. It's fucking school is boring, and he's right. He's right. It's fucking boring as hell, especially if you're in there every fucking day. Light's a high schooler. He's not in college. If I'm correct, he's a high schooler. I believe so. I can't remember at this moment, but you're in that bitch every fucking day. He's studying for cram school. He's a very studious student, man. And from this episode, you can tell he's a smart motherfucker. But Light's walking home. Some of his buddies approach him. He's like, man, some of his friends are, I think, going to like an arcade or something. They said they're about to tell me that they're gonna go somewhere. And Light's like, no, man, I can't go with you guys. I'm busy today. And he just keeps walking home. Ryuk's like, man, you're not busy. What the hell are you gonna be doing? So Light's at home watching TV and writing names in the Death Note. Ryuk asks, man, why are you working so hard? And this is where you can see the first glimpse of Light's genius. This motherfucker basically explains that, yo, I got school, right? I need to get the right amount of sleep so that I can maintain my class average, you know, be at the top of the class, blah, blah, blah. So, long story short, I have to work on this whole Death Note shit and creating my ideal world by the time I get home from school. And I believe he said before he goes to cram school, which is, I guess, some Japanese school at nighttime, man. I'm not familiar with the Japanese culture like that. But basically, he puts it as he has a small window of time to do what he needs to do to create his ideal world of killing off all the criminals. Now, I believe that this girl, Sayu, I don't know if she's his friend or if she's his sister or whatever the hell, but she comes in, she explains to him that she needs help with math and they're doing quadratic equations, which I honestly don't even remember what the fuck those are, to be honest with you. Um, so Light try before he lets her in, he puts the Death Note book in the drawer of his desk, and Ryuk basically explains to him like, "Yo, if whoever touches the Death Note, they have the ability to see me too." So Light lets Sayu in, and you know they do whatever they do with the math homework and shit. Now we cut to a police conference being held, and they said along the lines of 52 people, 52 criminals were killed by heart attacks. They had heart attacks, and they all had them simultaneously, and over 100 criminals were killed and shit. So the police are obviously getting some type of idea of what's going on. They're like, oh man, something's up. They don't know if it's homicide. They don't know what it is. And you think by the Death Note, man, it's an easy way of covering your tracks. And honestly, it would be. You just have to know how to use it right. Like just going motherfucking notebook crazy and writing everybody's goddamn name in the notebook. It's like, yeah, they're not gonna catch me. Just zoop, 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 just writing. This motherfucker writing a whole book of his own shit. So these police people, right? They have this debate on if killing all these criminals is the right thing to do. It's like, should people be punished? Because along the lines, they said something like a lot of people who were being killed, who died of heart attacks, were already scheduled for execution or whatever the fuck, right? And they're having this debate. They're like, man, is this guy really doing the wrong thing? Like, should we even worry about this? And, you know, Light says some pretty smart shit, and we'll get into that later. But basically, some fucking people who are in the police force, they're like, no, you know, it's still murder, blah, blah, blah. So one of the guys there is like, we have to bring in L, who they describe as a guy who none of them seen, no one knows his face or anything like that, but he solved every single case that he's had, and he solved some of the greatest mysteries that they have on record. So, L comes into the picture. L starts talking, and like I said, of course, no one knows what he looks like, so you're really not going to see his real face. L says he already knows that the culprit is from Japan, and that he's going to need everyone's cooperation. That's the main takeaway from that scene. So, Light comes up. We go back to Light, and he's working on a way on hiding his Death Note. So Light's like, okay, he comes up with this very elaborate ass plan to hide the book. And honestly, I'm a dumb fuck. I'm not even gonna try to explain this. So I'm gonna give what I think what he did. So he put the Death Note in the drawer and he disguised it as a diary. And he made it all complicated because he had like certain types of a specific lock to get to the Death Note, and then he had it set up to where there's like an extra level of desk material if they want to try to get to it. But he said if they really try to get to it and they don't actually use a key that I have for the Death Note, it's going to end up starting a fire which will get rid of the evidence and freaking destroy the Death Note. So this dude is fucking smart. Honestly, he created something that I think I need to look at a second time to get what the fuck he was talking about. But, long story short, that's how you figure out Light's a fucking smart dude. And his brain is definitely not like Ray Rawlins, okay? This motherfucker's smart as shit. But we transfer to another scene where you see kids coming out of school walking. They're talking about all the criminals dying and shit. Like, oh, man, they're criminals, man. It's pretty cool that, well, it's not pretty cool that they're dying, but they're like, hey, it is what it is. And we go back to Light. And well, the kids say, who are walking, they call the guy Kira. So Light is looking up on the computer and shit, and he's like, man, Ryuk, because, of course, Ryuk's always around him. There's a whole bunch of sites about this Kira dude. Kira, the Legend of Kira, the Savior. A lot of people are calling him a savior and whatnot. And he said Kira is derived from the English word killer. Now, like I said, I don't know much about Japanese culture, so I want to look into that my damn self. But he says that people already sense something's up, the normal civilians, but the media are basically explained it as a sudden coincidental amount of deaths amongst the world's hardest criminals or something like that. He's saying that the media is not too obvious to what's going on. So Light brings up the question of, is it okay to kill criminals, right? Is it okay to get rid of the world's most hardened criminals or whatever the fuck, but he also is freaking taking out people who are guilty of pretty stupid crimes. Let's be honest. He's not killing freaking serial killers or anything like that. He's killing people. I can't remember. I think it was something pretty damn petty. It was like, I think it was an armed robbery, and I don't think anyone died in it or what, but he was killing pretty much just any type of bad dude out there. So he says that when people are asked the question, is it okay to kill criminals, to kill bad people, that people often give a politically correct answer of, no, it's not okay. It's still murder. They'll freaking put up a whole front like, yeah, it's not okay to kill criminals. But privately, he says people support Kira. People are freaking cheering for him. They're like, yeah, you're doing the right thing and whatnot online, because they have the anonymity of being online. And that made me think, man, is it really okay? Now, we just had the freaking Florida shooting at the Madden tournament. And I just thought to myself, like, it's fucking pathetic how people can't even go to a game tournament and have fun without worrying about being shot up and shit. Like, for real, if you're going to a goddamn game tournament, you don't want to expect that shit. I can get in the whole debate about this. But say if that guy survived, or better yet, the Parkland school shooter, man. Should he be killed? I say yes. That's just my thoughts. And I'll probably get into all that shit a whole nother time. But now, would I say that in public? Hell fucking yeah. I have said that in public. I said it on the podcast. I even said it in one of my college courses when we were having a discussion about it. That's honestly how I feel. And he said that normal people, are usually what they normally do is they say, no, it's not okay to kill. Like the Parkland school shooter, there's a lot of people say, no, it's not okay to kill him because they're afraid to be honest and tell them what they really feel. I say, fry that some bitch. But anyway, we move on and we see Light watching the TV. And L comes up and, they're like, oh man, this is the first time L shows his face, so he must be really serious. L comes up and he says that his name is Lyndon B. Taylor, I believe it is. And he explained that he established a task force because of all these criminals being murdered by a serial killer. And he basically vows that he will not rest until he brought Kira to justice. He said, Kira, I will hunt you down. That's what that man said. And L says that Kira's evil. And this basically gets Kira, or Light, should I say, to flip into a rage. And Light's like, I'm not evil. I'm justice. I take all the people who are evil in this world out. And, he basically gives his own exclamation that he takes out all the bad people in the world. And he's justice. L says, no, man, you're evil. And, that gets him to flip into a rage. And, of course, they can't hear each other, obviously. L's on TV and Light's in his fucking house. So, Light writes L's name in the notebook, right? And, obviously, L's name, as he said at the top of the broadcast, is Lyndon L. Taylor. So, Lyndon L. Taylor basically collapsed in like 40 seconds in front of the TV, man. And I gotta say, after that 40 seconds, I expected it to be like, oh shit, he didn't die. Oh damn. So, but he collapses on TV and shit. And Light starts fucking laughing, yo. He was fucking laughing. He's fucking, cause Light's thing is this. He felt like L was crossing him. And of course, he said he's gonna play God and take him out. And when you really think about it, L didn't commit any crime. L was just trying to find them, which I think you can sense a little bit of evilness there from poor old Light, man. He wants to do good, but the truth is he was going to kill an innocent man who was trying to bring him to justice, which is really fucked up when you think about it. But here's the thing. L basically popped up, the real L, and he said Lyndon L. Taylor was an inmate who was scheduled for execution today. And basically, that fucked Light's head up, yo. And L explains that the police had arrested him in secrecy, which shows L that Light doesn't have information, secret information that L probably has access to, which, in a sense, when you really look at it, puts Light in the realm of being a civilian. Okay. Now, L basically taunts him. He's like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do? Kill me now. Kill me, blah, 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 blah. He was basically egging him on. He said, I want you to kill me. I thought that shit was hilarious. But he says that he's basically figured out that Light lives in Japan, right? He basically figures that out because the broadcast that L was doing wasn't around the world. It was just set up in Japan. So which basically confirmed his suspicion that Light was in Japan. And then he said something else. I can't remember what. But long story short, it made me think, how does Light know this? Or I'm sorry, how does L know this? I think because he explained something along the lines of that all the criminals that were being killed were Japanese. Or the first criminal was Japanese or something like that. And I think the last one was too. I can't remember, to be honest with you. But basically, he says, you don't know who I am. You can't kill me. And he basically says, you know what? I'm really curious how you're able to do what you did. How you're able to kill people without being present. And then he says, I'll find you. And I'll ask you all those questions when I finally, bring you to justice. And then when I sentence you to execution, sentence you to death. So, neither man knows anyone's identity. L doesn't know who Light is. Light doesn't know who L is. And that's why I said, man, this shit's gonna be fire. That's where the episode ends, and I'm like, oh man, I can't fucking wait to get to episode 3. I can already know, man. If I wasn't doing this, I'd binge watch the hell out of the series. That's what I want to do, but I want to take it one episode at a time because this shit's getting good, yo. This shit's getting good. I gotta say, episode 2, my final thoughts is, I don't, like I said, I don't like giving fucking numbers on a scale of 1 to 10 how good it was. I just like continuing the series and starting to see some progression. And I gotta tell you, shit is getting lit right now, man. I wish I watched this a lot sooner. And I want to know what's gonna happen. I want to know what's gonna happen. I seen some things about, like, I obviously, if you don't know by now, you can tell he's a villain. You can come to your own conclusion on that. But listen, episode 2, I think was pretty damn good. You got to see some progression in Light's character. You got to see how he's a genius or whatever. I wouldn't even say, well, I'll say genius. I'll give him that. But he's a smart motherfucker. And you can see how motherfucking L's going to try to bring him to justice. And that shit's going to be fire, yo. I can't wait to get to episode 3. I think I might move these anime reviews retro to Tuesday. I'm not sure. I'm going to think about it. But as for right now, I will see you guys Wednesday for My Hero Academia. We're going to be working on Ramblin' Rawlins to get out Saturday, hopefully. And I don't think I'll do a review Monday on Labor Day. I don't know, man. We'll see. Whatever happens, happens. I will see you guys Wednesday for My Hero Academia review. Ray Rawlins signing out. Share this with your granny with the holes in the panties, man. Peace.